Hey YouTube friends, I'm back again. Today I wanted to talk about my bookshelves and the books that I always decide to keep. Now I know I've mentioned these in a few videos, but I never go into detail. I usually just say that I decided to keep it and put it on my favorite shelf because I normally don't keep a book after I've read it, and I don't go into much detail. I've tried in several videos, and I've always had to edit it out because it makes my already long videos several minutes longer. So I just decided that I'm going to do another video dedicated just to that. So I just wanted to talk to you guys today and pretty much tell you exactly what that means when I say that. So there have been some books that I have mentioned in other videos that I have gotten rid of, and then I kept on thinking about it and decided that it was a book that I really liked and that I really wanted to keep, and so I had to end up rebuying the book. And the reason that that is the case is because I don't normally keep books after I've read them, and the reason for that is that I have so many books that I really do not have the space to keep all of them. And all of my books that I own, for the most part, except for particular ones that I collect, which I will get to later, I have not read and I need to read. And right now in my house, I have this bookshelf and other bookshelves that I normally film in front of, and then I also have two more bookshelves in my house that are kind of scattered all over. Those are all books except for one shelf on one in full bookshelf, one small shelf like this. I would consider this a shelf. I have one shelf on that bookcase of books that I have read and have decided to keep. Other than that, I have not read any of the other books I own. And I constantly always get more books. And I don't have the space. I don't want 6, 7, 8, 9 bookshelves in my house, especially since me and my husband constantly are moving and changing jobs and deciding where we want to settle down. That's way too many books to just keep moving. I used to be a collector. I used to like to keep every book that I read as long as I liked it somewhat. But since I've gone out, moved out on my own, been moved to several different houses every couple of years just because we moved to new locations, that hasn't really been able to work out. I can't take that many books, and so I have to try and downsize. Now I will get rid of a book even if I really really enjoy it. I will get rid of a book unless I give it a 5-star rating and I know that it is a book that I would probably read again. That is another reason why I get rid of books. Reason number 2, because I don't feel the point in having these books around on my shelves if I've read them and I'm never going to read them ever again. They might be good, but there are so many books out there in the world. I don't want to waste my time reading a book that I've already read unless it's one that is just so fantastic that I have to do that. But the only cases of books that I have that I've ever read more than once are Harry Potter series and Watership Down, which is my favorite book. Those are the only examples and the only instances of reading a book more than once. I have several other favorite books that I own again and I do want to read for a second time, but I have not read them a second time. Watership Down I've probably read 3 times because I like that book so much. But the instances of me ever reading a book again are very slim because there are so many books out there and so many books that I have yet to discover, and I don't want to waste time on reading a book that I've already read and I know that I enjoy. Maybe I will again someday, but for the most part, no, especially if it's a book I hate. If it was 3 stars or less, I would never keep that book because why? Why do I want to waste space on a book that I didn't even really enjoy? I know I will never read again. I don't want to recommend to anybody. I don't want to keep it for my kids. there's no point in me having it on my shelf and having it take up space. I just don't want that. So I just get rid of it. And I do have a small collection of books, authors' favorite books, that I do keep, and I will continue to keep and move forever, and I want to pass down to my kids. And the exception of me reading books and keeping them, even if they are not my favorites, would be Stephen King, which, as you can see right here behind me, this shelf and this shelf are Stephen King books, with the exception of these two books, because I had nowhere else to put them. But all of these books behind here are Stephen King, and then this is also 2 layers deep. You can't really see, but some of his books I do not enjoy. But I collect Stephen King. I've been collecting him forever. I have every one of his books to date that he has written, novels, I should say. And then I have his short story collections. I have been collecting all of his books, made sure that I have every book that he's ever written. Even if I don't like them, I'm going to keep them because they are part of my collection, and I will read them all someday, and those are books I will pass on to my kids. But I see some people that will keep a book even if they don't really like it because they collect books. That's great. I used to be that way. I used to be a collector. I just do not have the space to do that anymore. And especially I see some people that have like 4 or 5 copies of the same book because one's signed, one isn't signed, one's an ARC, one's a hardback, one's a paperback, and then one's a special edition that is not signed. Those to me, I don't get those either. Like, keep the special edition and then keep the signed copy. Why do you need to keep all the rest of the exact same book? Like, what is the purpose of it? I've never been able to understand that. I will never keep a second copy of a book. I've accidentally bought a book that I already owned before, and I just got rid of it. I think that's it. There's pretty much 2 main reasons. One is that I just don't want to keep a book that I've already read when there's so many books out there. To give you guys an example, I have, I believe, 580 something books on my Kindle, and I've probably read maybe 10 of those. So, because I buy books, I find books that, even if I don't know if I'm interested in it, they're either free or they're less than a couple bucks, or they're usually always daily deals. And none of my books on there, I think my most expensive Kindle book on there was like $7, but that was part of a series that I had been reading and I fell in love with, and I had to buy the next book even though it wasn't on sale. And that, just to give you an example, I have that many books on my Kindle, and I have not read that many. Even if I could read 100 books a year, which I do not average that many, but even if I could, that would be almost 6 years of reading just the books on my Kindle. And then I also have all of these on my shelf, which probably adds up to another 500 or 600. And 90% of them are books that I have not read. So yeah, we're looking at 10, 15 years of books that I own, that I need to read, that I have not. Why do I need to keep books that I have read just to keep them on my shelves and take up space when I don't have the time to read them again because I'm already have books, a TBR shelf 15 years long? Why? It just doesn't make sense to me. That is my thing. And like I said, if I really like a book, I will keep it. Even if I don't know if I will ever read it again, if it's an amazing enough book that I feel like it touched me in some way, I will keep it just so that I can pass it on to my kids someday, or I can recommend it and have somebody else read it. But those books are few and far between, and I might do a video of those books later on. If you guys are interested, let me know. And so let me know down below what you guys do. If you guys keep books, even if you've read them, even if you don't like them, do you keep them? Maybe because they have a gorgeous cover. But let me know down below what you guys do, what you guys think. Do you keep multiple copies of books? If you get multiple copies of your favorite book, like I mentioned, an ARC, a hardcover, a signed copy, a special edition. And if you guys like to keep your books after you've read them, even if you don't enjoy them, or maybe you do enjoy them, but you know you'll never read them again because you don't have the time, let me know down below. What is your guys' thought process? What do you guys do? If you guys are like me and you don't keep a book because you don't want to take up space, you don't have the time to read them all. Again, let me know down below and we will get to talking. We will discuss it. Alright, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.